Macarons.
So we need to try them. Oh, there you go.
Well, there's a difference between macaroons and macrons. Macrons
Oh, what's a
are
macron?
Macron are these. Macaroons are the Johns with
Isn't the Prime Minister of France? What? I want to try this one. What's this?
You're gonna get the white one.
Vanilla?
Which one do you
Why do I
want,
have to get
Greg?
the white one?
Greg, you want blue or cookies and cream?
Yeah, give Greg one of those.
Oh, give me what you think is the
Give him cookies and cream.
Yeah, you're gonna get cookies and cream.
Get that.
cream.
Okay.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Dink it and sing it.
Dink it and sink it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need some milk. Mm.
Nice job, Ashley.
Ashley, you're amazing. It's
Thank
great to meet you. Drew was actually really nice to me. He always sends some really sarcastic thing after the podcast. So he'll listen to the podcast and he'll be like, "Oh, that was the biggest piece of trash I've ever listened to." It always makes me laugh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Welcome everybody to the Guys Who Cry podcast. If you have never listened to us before, I'm Ruben. That's Adam.
what's up?
We
guys?
are your Guys Who Cry. We are
mental health and entertainment podcast.
and silliness, just silly stuff.
Because mental health goes in with comedy, right? So we use a lot of different things as crutches to sort of help us when we're struggling or we're down
Fair
or we're
enough.
feeling good. We use music, we use comedy. We use really other people to change our mood. But that's
100%.
listening to other musicians, seeing someone live, listening to comedians. Does that usually help you? Like, what do you do when you're down? How do other people help you when you're down? Like media consumption.
Media consumption,
Uh-huh.
I think I have to go to like a comfort show.
Okay.
So like right now that comfort show is Community.
Yeah,
Back on my Community kick. It's something that's just gonna make me laugh. Like a buddy of mine introduced me to like Impractical Joker clips on YouTube.
We were
That's-
dying with that this week.
Dude, so funny.
Uh-huh.
So funny.
Because it's
And-
never serious. It's just...
Yeah, one of the one of the clips, we were all watching it together. We had a group of people at my house, and we were literally just like, I had made some water ice, and I was like, come over and have some water ice. And one of the clips was Joey Gatto for his punishment. So if you haven't never seen the show, it is four guys, like they've been childhood friends forever, and they play pranks and jokes on each other, and they're in each other's ears, and they're like telling them what to do. And whoever loses at the end of the episode has to do a punishment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And so one of the guys, Joe, had to interview a biker gang
Mm-hmm.
for his thing. And they were telling him they gave him questions to ask the gang. And one of the questions he asked was, what's the silliest thing you guys have ever done as a gang? And me and my girlfriend Brian started laughing. I'm like, that's a question Adam would ask.
Yeah, that's
like if he was
so
out in a biker bar. he'd
They're
be
like, first of all, we're not a gang.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, what's the silliest thing you guys have ever done as a gang? And you'd be like, oh my God.
that's totally something I would ask. I'd love to hear what they would say.
Yeah, so full disclosure, guys, we were going to record this episode earlier, but like earlier in the week, but I had a really bad day.
Rough
The
day in a hot kitchen.
Yeah, it was hot. Things were just culminating one thing after another.
You usually have a lot of patience, but
a lot of patience. Usually I never let my emotions show at work like that, but
was it the heat?
It was the combination of the heat and just other work factors, and I ended up getting really upset, like to the point where like I threw something across
Right,
the kitchen. That
right.
never happens, and I was very visibly upset. It was a bunch of different things, like upper management and stuff like that. And
Okay,
like
so
like
interpersonal, not just
yeah, and so like like to the point where like people know I never get upset, and
Yeah.
like oh man, like dude, you never get mad, you never lash out, you never. And so we were gonna record, and I ended up reaching out to the guys, and I was like, hey, listen. Probably think it's for the best idea today for us not to record.
Right.
Because I am just not in the best mood, and I don't want it to. My biggest fear when I'm in a bad mood is that I am gonna take it out on my friends. Do you
Sure.
feel like that sometimes? And I feel like that kind of happened in our group text, because like we were texting about a bar. One of my favorite bars, Dead Presidents.
Mhm.
And I think, like, I don't think I even realized my tone when I responded.
Mhm.
That it probably did come off like I was kind of pissed.
Were we joking about the bar?
The bar,
Yeah.
and like Like to the point where like you text me like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I won't." I'm like, dude, I did not mean that to come off.
I only
as-
said that because Brian said something. He's like, "Oh, maybe it bothered him or whatever." I just wanted to say.
Oh,
I was
no,
like, I
but,
just
like-
also wanted to reaffirm I really don't care.
So like, yeah, I don't really care either, and like that's why I didn't want to come over. I was like, I don't want us to get into the podcast, and then like, I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling a certain topic really just gets me
Right.
going, and then I'm like, then I take it out on you guys. So
And-
I was like, you know what? Let's just postpone this episode and let's record it on a later date.
But to keep on that subject, we all have things that we have to do, our obligations, and we have days where we obviously don't feel like doing it, or we're not going to be in the best mood to do it. And some people take that philosophy of like, do it anyway, right? That sort of like even Joe Rogan and Jocko Willink kind of like, you don't want to go to the gym, you don't feel like it, go. And that's a little bit different. Right?
Different, yeah.
But when you have like a sort of a work or productivity obligation that your mood actually affects the outcome of that, I do think in some of those cases, especially this is a hobby, this is for fun.
Right.
So obviously take the time that you need, you know?
Yeah, mental health time is important. I do agree with that. And
Yeah.
and I'm probably guilty of not taking as much of like I don't ever take a mental health day from work. I don't know if that's
no.
like a I mean, and I
You
know that that's a
technically
thing.
could probably, but you don't.
Probably, but like
Yeah.
I don't think I've called out of work in like 3 years. And the last time I called out
Yeah.
was when I was super sick, and I think I was one of those guys that had COVID before COVID was
Yeah.
a thing, and like, and it was actually on my day off that I called out for the next day.
Yes.
It was like, hey, I can't move right now. I'm
Right.
not going to come in. And like when I went into work the next day after that, they were like, oh man, you must have been really bad because like you never call out.
Right. But you
And-
were physically ill.
Yeah.
Actually fatigued,
But-
whatever. Yeah.
But I know like a lot of corporate companies, a lot of like office jobs do offer that.
That was interesting because a couple weeks ago, I had Mondays are somewhat mentally for some reason a struggle for me. I have no idea why. Usually Tuesday is always better. So Monday, I was having a really low afternoon. I felt horrible mentally. Physically, I was fine. So I told my boss or whatever, just said, hey, I'm going to be off. It was like the last 2 hours of the day or something. I was like, hey, I'm just going to sign off, whatever. And I just said I'm not feeling well. So then the next day, people always ask, like, oh, were you sick? Are you feeling better or whatever? And what's weird is I actually feel, I am not going to say, I was feeling bad mentally. I felt like I could not work. Like I needed to just like lay down, not talk to anybody. Like
You're
whatever.
not going to say that.
I'm not going to say, because then it makes you sound like you're crazy. But it's funny because that the mental health is a different aspect of health than physical health. And I really needed that time off. It was like, I'm a little bit, not incapacitated, but I really was like, I can't think about anything. And I don't think people are as understanding about that as they would be as, oh, I
Really?
had a cough or my stomach hurts,
I think you'd be surprised. I think if you did say, I mean, maybe
I could say they'd probably be okay.
I think if you just said, hey, like I was just not in the best space mentally and I just kind of needed some time, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
you're
now
right.
if it was
You're
like,
right. They
if
probably
you
would
did
be
that like
'Cause they're
every
cool.
other day
No,
or like
yeah, I
every week,
Right.
okay, then it's like, all right, oh, Adam's taking his mental health time again.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I don't do it
like-
often. Yeah.
But like, I think every now and then you do. You guys just, I need to just clear my. Is that the day you came? I think that's the night you came over
Probably.
and we watched that new Bill Burr special.
Well, that day too was weird. That was the day that my ex texted me out of the blue after a month of not talking. And I was kind of feeling bad about that. Also just feeling bad in general because it was a Monday. And then she just texted me out of the blue. And then talking to her kind of helped me feel better, of course, because, I always feel better with that. So it was just kind of a weird coincidence that I was feeling bad on the day. Then this person texts me who really makes me happy. And I started to feel better. But resting helps too. So
Yeah,
there's a little taboo to it, I think, unfortunately. But
yeah, and it's definitely getting a lot more. It's definitely getting a lot more acceptable to do that, though.
yeah, to take a mental health day. It's a real thing for sure.
100%. Like,
Oh my gosh.
oh man, like so good.
So good, man. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah.
Oh man, it
How's
has
my chest
been
look? Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
I had my pop up yesterday.
So tell everybody what a pop-up is. 'Cause
Yes.
Everyone was asking that. Ruben had a pop-up.
So a new trend, I guess not really a trend, but something that's really gotten more popular in the last 3 years has been this thing of doing pop-ups if you're a chef or a restaurant. And what that means, it's literally in the name, you just pop up at a special location. And so I popped up yesterday at my friend's parents' diner
Yeah.
in Wilmington, Cozy Corner, one of the best breakfasts
Union
in Wilmington.
Street, right? Yeah.
And he does the best pizzas in Delaware.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the best pizzas
The one I
in
did
Delaware.
had yesterday was incredible.
If you want to look him up, Nick's Pizza 302.
Yes, sir.
It is, you have to DM him for your order. It's very speakeasy style.
Right.
It's very cool.
And a pop-up's kind of like that, where you're
Yeah.
kind of, it's a very limited menu.
Yes, it's limited menu. It's chefs that maybe wouldn't normally have a space to do their own thing. So I think that's what's cool. Like,
And
I don't really
it's-
have
yeah.
a restaurant or any of that people can come eat my food. I get people ask me all the time, where can I come and eat your food?
Right.
And I don't have a spot or a place. So this is a
Yes.
cool opportunity for chefs to be like, hey, this is my food. Come and get my food.
Yes.
So I had that yesterday, and it went really great. Really great.
You had one of the
turnout.
best fried chicken sandwiches I ever had.
I
It had
appreciate
a
that.
curry sauce on it. That was spectacular.
Yeah, it was great, man. I think we had some really great feedback. We had people come from all over the place for it. It
was great. It was great.
I think especially now since the Chop thing too, I think there's a little bit of notoriety to the
Yeah.
name too. So I think, people can, especially in Delaware, because, Delaware doesn't really have a lot of like
yeah.
popular
The television-
like television chefs.
Celebrities and
And so
no
that
names,
was
yeah.
cool, man. And so I'm kind of flying high from that, and it was great, man.
See, that's the creative outlet that that you express on a regular basis through either like pop-ups or even through work and all that stuff. This is a creative outlet for me doing the podcast, but I'm still struggling with how to use my creativity otherwise, whether it's music or whatever. And I went to a art exhibit today, the Van Gogh experience, and I'm always inspired when I listen to other artists and I listen to their struggles and I see their art. And it always makes you want to do stuff that's, out of the ordinary. And I always think of artists who do things that are kind of crazy and different and original. And you probably feel the same way even with cooking, like thinking of recipes and ideas and even how you present the food that's different, that's out of the box. And there's something that's so wonderful about that experience to be able to do that, to bring something different and new into the world.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that is like knowing like you're not going to get instant gratification right away.
No, yeah.
And I think we live in a society now where you want that fame or that success quickly, and people sometimes maybe aren't willing to put in the grunt work into getting to that point. So like, for example, for me,
Yeah.
I have been grinding my butt off since I was 18 in kitchens,
Right.
learning, honing my craft, like getting to this point where I am just now at 32 seeing this, like the rewards, like just now starting to see results that are like success. You know what I mean?
But you cook because you enjoy it.
Yes.
I mean, not necessarily, work is different, but you cook all the time. You just made water ice the other day at your house for us, which is, you really enjoyed it. It's a
Right,
labor
yeah.
of love. And I struggle with music. Sometimes with music, I'm just like, I don't really want to play. I played an open mic in Philly a couple weeks ago. I'm like, that was annoying. It was a lot of work to drive up there and go play like 2 songs, whatever. It was rewarding, but like, I don't want to do that all the time. So I'm trying to figure out like what other creative outlets, because it changes. Sometimes your creativity expresses itself in different ways throughout your life. Like, I think musicians don't always play music throughout their life. Their creativity is expressed in other ways too. But finding the impetus for finding the motivation. Do you ever find that struggle to do your creative expression on your own, or you're always kind of cooking for fun? So
yeah, but I mean, it
doesn't seem
took me
like
a
hard.
long time to get like okay with that, or like even getting.
Why? Because you weren't confident with it before. You didn't
It
enjoy
was
it.
confidence. I think I was kind of burnt out from just cooking all the time. And then like,
that's a little bit of that.
and now, obviously there's a rush when people are like, dude, I want to eat your food. And then like
Yeah.
you do, and people are like posting it on Instagram, and you get to repost that and that kind of thing.
And some of it's discipline too. Do you
Yeah.
think? Like
Yeah,
just doing it, like just do something.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
do something. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you might hate it. And then sometimes you might be like, oh, I kind of like this. Like,
yeah,
I've done a couple of open mics for comedy, and like, I like it.
yeah.
And I would like to do it again, but was that something I would want to do all the time?
Right.
Probably
Not.
not.
But with this is fun, and we all motivate each other. That's
Yeah.
what's great about being able to do creativity with a group of people, because you're all pushing each other. It's kind of by default. We all enjoy getting together and hanging out. So like, oh, let's record a podcast too. That's how this started.
You know what I see you doing though as like a creative
Yeah,
outlet?
tell me.
I see you being an open mic host because you already like to bring people together. I feel like you like to organize things.
Yeah. I like to create stuff though, like the video. I like creating like videos and content and that kind of stuff. That is a lot more fun.
Well,
it's
to
a
be
lot
fair,
of work.
you used to do that a lot, and like your videos on YouTube are great.
The problem is I do them all by myself too, and it's a lot of work. Like this, again, we're working together as a team, so we break up the responsibilities. So even when I did stuff with church, like I was, the music leader at church, it was great because I had an obligation, but I'm also meeting together with other people who are helping, and we're all working toward a common goal. So anytime you have to do something where it's totally dependent on you, anyone I'm sure who's listening who's like a writer or an artist or whatever, you take some discipline,
It is tough, and I think like sometimes you have to take opportunities and really think about what you want to do. Because I know a buddy of mine just, he has a couple different opportunities in front of him, and he has to think about what's the right move for him and his future wife, and all of those things. He's like, I really want to have a family soon, and that kind of thing, or I want to open up my own thing here soon too. Right. And it's like, sometimes you have to take a kind of a loss somewhere to get a gain somewhere else.
We've talked about that with partners too, where you want a partner who's going to push you to be the best version of yourself, who's not going to let you just like languish in apathy and complacency, is going to be like, hey, what goals do you have? Like, how can I help you achieve those goals? And then you do it with the other person too. That's a great thing about being in a good relationship where you both want to spur each other on to good deeds and productivity. So that's cool.
Yeah, even with our friendships. I mean, I think
you're a good encourager with that.
I do try, because I know I really like that. I know, like, when somebody reaches out and they say, hey, man, just thinking about you. I hope you have a good day. Like, you do that. And, and it makes you feel good for the rest of the day.
I'm glad.
I like to do that for other people.
Yeah, you do it too. Yeah.
I did that with a buddy of ours yesterday, and he's like, oh, like, I was like, yeah, I just hadn't heard from you in a couple days. And, usually, like, we're all, like, pretty active in our group chat. And I'm sure he's like, yeah, it was fine. I was just kind of, like, doing my thing. I was like, all right, cool. Just, that was it. Just checking, Just checking, and I was like, cool.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
We are going to try a little something different today, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to review some TikTok videos.
Yeah, talking about ways people decompress and stuff at the end of the day. I know a lot of people, I am not a huge TikTok scroller.
TikTok, Instagram, I mean,
Instagram,
you scroll
I do
basically
a lot.
the same way.
But yeah, I think we have a couple queued up here.
You want to do the funny one?
Yeah, we'll do the funny one.
Is the audio good, Greg?
Greg gave us the
because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again.
And you're sure that's not your voice?
Yeah,
right?
So people send me this, this voice over, this audio, people use it a lot for like different emo stuff. So sometimes it'll be like a dog with like the emo filter, or it'll be like the shower bottle watching me sing in the shower.
Yeah.
And people send me that. They're like, bro, is this you singing?
Can you do it?
I can try. I guess I gotta get away from the mic a little bit, like right here.
Good. You got it.
Right, Greg? Is this good right here? Be like, it's like, cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again.
Doesn't it sound like
change my mind?
Yeah, it keeps
Play
going.
it again. How accurate is it?
Fall for you over again. Don't
Make me change my mind.
You do sound like him, like the cadence and everything. It's wild, dude.
It is a dream of mine to do like one emo song in my life. Maybe that can be our next creative project. You can help me make that a reality.
See, that's when we do stuff together. I do like that. Yeah.
Like, I just
do
want to
an
be
emo cover. You said, or
just an original emo song. But I'm not a good songwriter.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be fun to do a song like an emo style,
we can do
early
it together,
2000 emo style.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of fun.
So I said, you motivate me. Mental health one. This was really short.
So it says, who do you call when you're depressed? It says, bruh, y'all be calling people?
This was just one that had just popped up a bunch of times. It just made me think about times when...
It says lonely, #sober, #sobriety. So that's
actually, I'll put it up and just pause it. Like when, when you're actually feeling down, how often do we feel like calling people? And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do need time like completely alone. But I think in the darkest moments, it is good to kind of reach out to someone and say, hey, like I'm kind of desperate, like I'm struggling. I used to do that in college when I had depression. I would reach out to a guy on Sunday nights and just call, just say, hey, I'm really just not feeling good. And we just kind of talk through it a little bit. And it's not like I felt 1,000% better afterwards, but I did feel like my voice was being heard and that someone cared, you know?
Yeah, it's good to verbalize those things, and it's funny because this is obviously like somebody that is sober on that video, and
Yeah.
I have talked to a few people that, you know, at first I think you kind of feel left out
When you're depressed or
when you're sober,
when you're
and
sober.
like that, and then so that'll add to your depression, obviously,
Yeah.
and being lonely and all that. But then it's like, you know, we have a friend that doesn't drink, and we include him, and like we say, dude, we don't care if you don't drink.
Well, because a lot of times we go times like I didn't want to drink it all this last week because it was just making my stomach feel upset and stuff. And, you know, I didn't drink until I was like 25, 26 anyway. And you and Cortland have done sober months before, and you know, so I'm like, this is perfect for this group because we're not trying to overconsume anyway. You know,
No.
we're even trying to watch what we eat and exercise and, you know, take care of ourselves because it's better. So, we wouldn't do the Instagram one?
Yeah,
Let me see.
I wish we could have found something on. I follow this guy Jordan Sayat. He's like a fitness Instagram guy,
Yeah.
and he's really cool. Like really,
Oh, that's a funny one. We can do the funny one.
yeah, really motivational. And like, 'cause I think you were talking about working out, and like I know for me, I've been
Oh, wait.
kind of, you know, I feel kind of weird about my body right now. But
Okay.
like I know I'm just going through a tough patch right now. I just gotta like. I'll get back to being in the gym regularly. My diet's gonna be better. And like he always says, like, you know, hey, like don't look at that scale every day. You're gonna have up and down weeks, and like
Yeah.
you're gonna have weeks. The most important thing with body image issues, I think, is just, you know that you're gonna have up and down weeks, and as long as you're being 80% good, it's
Yeah.
That's it.
And you still want to be able to, you know, enjoy life like we do on the pop-ups yesterday. And that's the thing, like I want to be able to go enjoy food with people, but I also know if I just like limit the amount that I eat and I eat like a little bit or stop before I'm
Yes.
full, like then I don't
Everything
feel so
about it.
bad. So, all right, Greg, we'll do another one.
so this video I sent to Adam.
We're such a daddy.
Hi guys, how are you?
So
We're such a daddy.
Just mute it. Yeah, mute it while it's playing. It's fine.
So I sent this to Adam and another one of our buddies, and I said, guys, this is us every single time we go out and we think our server is hot. Like this is not just specific to one person. Like this is literally every one of us.
Oh, she's so cute. Oh, let's talk to her.
And like as soon as so like the video, if you guys can't see the video, as soon as he says, "Dude, our server's such a baddie," she goes, she's like, "Hey guys, I can help you." He like takes the water and he starts like shaking
Because he's so nervous. Yeah. Yeah, talk to her or whatever. But we talk about that. Like we talk about that being inappropriate and talking to somebody, especially if it's a server, like it's somebody who's actually, working for you and it's their job. You don't always want to hit on. Although, I mean, I know people who I've talked to people who were former waitresses and waiters and who were like, oh, I met my significant other. It was, a patron. So, it's definitely possible.
It is possible. It's just, it is tough because
You have to really be good at reading the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Because like, it is tough because then they know where you work and then they can come visit you all the time. Be like, hey, stranger.
Especially if you're there all the time. Like, if that's the thing I think about even girls at the gym. If I know it's a girl I'm not going to see regularly, like, I don't necessarily mind. I haven't done it a lot, but I mean, like, I'm a little more okay with that because I know I'm probably not going to see the person again. It's so
Sure.
big. I'm not going to make them feel uncomfortable. But if you're going back to the same place all the time. Anyway, let me find another one. Greg, I'll tell you when to put it up. Let me see. Why do I want to talk about that one? I thought that was pretty funny.
The close-up face. What is that?
No. The
I haven't
close-up
seen
face?
that one. Yeah.
All right, Greg, here, I'll do it. Ready?
You ever ask a man how he's doing and he says, I'm alright.
I'm going to play the whole
I'm here to tell you, that man is not alright. That man is battling demons that you cannot even possibly imagine. That man is struggling every single day to find a reason.
Find a reason to keep going.
So yeah, that's definitely true for some people.
Yes.
Sometimes
that's
I say-
stereotypical.
Yeah. Sometimes I say I'm all right, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm all right. Like I'm neither good nor bad. I'm just down the middle. That doesn't mean I'm in trouble. It doesn't mean like, guys, I'm asking for help. I get what he's saying.
Yes. He's talking about when
I do.
people are. He's talking about people, I think, who never talk about their feelings when they're
Right.
asked. His wife comes up and asks him, hey, something's wrong. How are you doing? I'm all right. And he just keeps pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. The thing is, though, what's weird about this is that this is not exclusive to men.
No.
I know women who have struggled with the same thing. They feel like I don't really have a right to say anything or complain about this or whatever. This is a human thing. This is not just a, ultra masculine thing.
And that goes like hand in hand with like social media. Like someone's social media presence and the character that they are portraying for social media
Oh yeah.
is not nearly the person that they are in real life behind those doors. They're struggling behind that.
Yeah.
They're just doing the something that makes them happy. I remember like when we first started hanging out, I'm like, man, you post a lot. And you're like, yeah, it just makes me happy. I'm like, all right,
It
cool.
makes you
Like,
feel a
I'm
little
not-
better sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, if that
Yeah.
makes you feel good, whatever. I'm not going to try to stamp on your happiness. I don't post a lot like that.
Yeah.
But like, I know people that do.
Especially that summer 2 years ago, I was really struggling. I was feeling pretty bad. Like I posted a lot because it did kind of help me take my mind off stuff. It was a little bit of, it's an artistic creation too. So you're kind of like not thinking about stuff. Crap, I forgot what I was gonna say, but okay.
That style of TikTok is really fun.
You're not a big fan of the ultra close.
No, it's just like, I don't know. It just seems like it's just a little too much, It's just
Yeah.
like, okay. Or like, sometimes I hate when it's like that and it's something that's like so obvious,
Yeah, like
like, hold
can you-
on.
can you-
Yeah,
can
give me-
you
let me give you an
demonstrate
example.
for us?
I'm going to
Yeah.
show you guys on this camera right over here.
Okay, he's gonna show us. I got you.
All right. I'm going to go over here.
Watch the cables.
Hey, do you ever just feel like you just want to eat Taco Bell and you go through the drive-thru and you just want to get the $5 box, but then you get nervous when you show up and you just get a chalupa? Life's like that sometimes. And you're like, what? You're watching, you're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. But I guess it's they do it in movies too, when they do like ultra close-ups on people, and it does convey a little bit more like emotion and meaning, but it's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
Especially when it's a lumberjack on the Instagram telling us about how he doesn't want to share his feelings.
Like, I don't know who that guy is, but it looks like this guy that used to be on the Opie and Anthony show called Daniel Mustard. And I don't know if you guys, Greg, do you know who I'm talking about? Daniel Mustard? And he
It
was
doesn't
this
say on here.
homeless guy.
I think I do.
Oh.
He was this homeless guy that had like this incredible voice. And this
Oh.
was like in the early days of YouTube. And he went viral for singing this insane version of Creep
Oh, wow.
by Radiohead. And we were just talking about Radiohead the other day, that song Creep.
Yeah.
That you can sing it in a bunch of different ways
I was
with that
listening.
melody.
It's a good song, yeah.
And he sings it with like very like grit. It's like, cause I'm a creep.
Yeah.
It's like very like guttural and like very emotional. And it was just really, really good.
I like
But
that
I think
a lot.
that's him.
Oh, it
Looks like
might be.
It could be him.
Might be. I do think that's interesting though. What's another one?
What are
yeah.
some TikToks? Like what TikToks do you not like?
What style? Or which ones are kind of annoying?
Like I still don't get the dancing thing.
I mean, sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they've motivated me. They've been kind of interesting to do, or it's fun to do with like a date or whatever. I will say there have been times where I've practiced TikTok dance alone in my room, and it is really fun because I'm bad at it, and it gives you something to like distract yourself with.
No, listen,
I mean, they're goofy, yeah.
the goof. I don't know. I never just got behind. For me, it's just
Greg, you can put the screen up. I'll see if I can find one. I'm just gonna mute it. Go ahead.
I don't know. Like, and you know what? There are some TikTok videos that they do a really great job of editing too. I think it gave a lot of people a lot of editing skills. There's some really well done.
I still don't know how they do the one where it's like the camera's moving, but it's locked onto their face. So as they move around, it's like the camera stays with their face. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh man, I don't know. It must be some facial recognition effect. It's really cool. But yeah, the ones where it's like, too hot, too attractive women, like I don't know, doing like a dance or something. I don't know. It's just like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. See, this does nothing for me.
But it's cute. I understand why people like it, and they're fun to make.
I guess. What's the point?
It depends on the song that's being used. Yeah. I don't know. What about those? What about the flash mobs?
See, like, if it's like
good dancers.
original dancing like this, like
Yeah.
stuff like this, I think is cool.
What do you think about people doing TikToks in public when they're kind of like interrupting? It's like really making a scene in public. I always think it's a little bit selfish.
I've never seen it, so luckily I haven't.
Yeah.
Seen it.
All right, you can cut it. That's cool.
What about yeah,
funny ones? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I've gone down the rabbit hole in some of these where you'll get a tag and it's like all mental health ones, and they are really, really depressing. Some of them are like, okay, I can't. Like, you know what does that to me is like even sentimental or melancholy music. Like,
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
I can't. Can you just like mute it until it's ready to go?
It doesn't matter. It's on a different track.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But like I do that with music. I don't like to watch stuff or listen to things that make me feel and like a real introspective mood. Like I like to listen to podcasts or like Maroon 5 sort of mood neutralizing music when I'm like riding in the car because I don't want to think too much about life when I don't really need to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It'll make me overthink things that I've already processed and dealt with. I don't need to be thinking about. I don't know.
Here's one that I think is really I don't know. There's something about like so this one is this guy recording his dad pronouncing his Latino it's a guy, he's Latino. He's like how Latino parents pronounce brands and places
Oh,
part
I haven't
2.
seen this. That's great.
But
we'll listen
we're
to
going to
it.
play it's
How most Latino parents pronounce brands and places.
Starbucks. Facebook.
and they put
Facebook.
YouTube.
Pretty good.
Costco. Coldplay. Cheetos.
That's how my mom would probably
I love this
Cheetos.
photo.
Burger King. Subway.
his son laughed.
Subway.
Umlaut
Little
over it.
Caesars. Nike.
That's good.
Sprite.
He puts the E in
That's
front of
right.
it.
That's good. That's what's fun. That's what's fun is about speaking to my friends who speak Portuguese or Spanish. Like if I say something in their language, I want to know. I'm like, what does my accent sound like? It's so interesting. I don't know. Yeah. Wait, do you speak any
I
Hindi
don't
or
speak
anything?
any Hindi or
Yeah.
anything. Like I can kind of understand it.
Is that what your
but
parents speak?
They speak a couple different
They're a couple
dialects.
different
They're pretty
dialects, yeah.
pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Your
parents have an accent?
Stupid. A little bit. I think they have a little bit of an
Dad
accent.
does a little bit, yeah.
I think the other guy that I send you all the time is Nicky Kaz. He does all like the Italian American
Oh, he's
stereotypes.
great. I follow him all the time. See if you can find him, and then we'll tell you, Greg. Yeah, he's great. He's a young guy. He's probably in his early 20s or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
He does
probably.
impressions of like an typical like Italian Brooklyn dad, or whatever.
I was trying to channel a Brooklyn accent when Evelyn accidentally said AK Cupid. I was like, AK Cupid.
Oh, hey, Cupid. Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah, he always does like the Italian dad. I think like the one he did was like the Italian dad, like
The golfing stuff ones he does too is pretty funny. Yeah.
where is it?
Oh, we're really well prepared here. We had a few of them, and now we're just
Aimlessly scrolling. We're doom scrolling.
we're aimlessly scrolling. Hey,
All right, I'm just gonna pick a random one. You ready?
just pick a random one. Go ahead.
And boom.
A dessert menu, sweetheart? Nah, we're good. Just a check, please. Anthony, can you do me a favor? Grab me the Advil from the cabinet. No, not that one. No, over there. Yeah, thank you. It's her half birthday. It ain't even her real birthday. Nah, I ain't going to that shit. Aunt, I don't want to hear it anymore, Aunt. I said you're not going. No, it wasn't him. It was Vito. No, Anthony, you can't put diesel gas in a Nissan Altima, sweetheart. Are you kidding me?
That's good.
Dessert menu?
I
That's what-
love that voice.
Can you do that? Wait, you can do the Brooklyn.
Not as good as him.
You do the Brooklyn Sensei though.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more like, you know what I mean? It's, just a little bit.
That's wild though, man.
You know what's scary?
Yeah.
There's a DJ guy that I know through a Facebook group anyway. He puts YouTube videos out.
Yeah.
He talks like that
Naturally, yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Wait, who is that?
He goes by the name DJ Nick Spinelli.
Oh,
you can look
okay.
him up on YouTube. He's
Huh.
on there.
Greg, do
That's
you
a great
ever do you ever look up like DJs on TikTok? Because that's a big thing now on TikTok.
I
It's a lot of-
know a DJ on TikTok that's pretty big. I know a guy, Mr. Wired Up.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've seen his videos.
Yeah, he does like all kinds of mashups. He's gotten some recognition. I think Gwen Stefani retweeted, reshared one of his.
Dude, I think those mashup videos are so... Yes!
Yeah.
Can't touch
You know this guy?
Oh.
Yeah, I used to DJ for him.
That's dope.
Oh, really? Wait, where's he from?
Delaware.
No way. That's awesome. It does give anyone a platform these days, which is awesome. Like
That is cool.
It
yeah.
leaves you without an excuse to be creative and, you know.
Ooh, here's a hot take.
What?
Here's a hot take about TikTok.
Yes.
Is the culture it is cultivated for chefs. Ooh.
Are you saying it wouldn't be for you're implying it wouldn't be for chefs?
Here's the thing. Now the term TikTok chef is a thing. And for chefs like me and people that are grinding in a kitchen, I think it gets a little frustrating because it's like, well, anybody can spend 8 hours to make one dish. But it's trying to get that one dish done in 4 hours and 50 of them, which is the skill. And I think like the term chef needs to be tailored a little bit more specifically when people use that term. Like I wouldn't, that would be like, I feel like if I just curated a playlist on Spotify and call myself the DJ.
Well, that is 90% of it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a DJ though.
Well, can someone achieve a particular status or position without going through a normal traditional route?
I think so, but I think it also has to be respect from your peers. I think that's the big thing with chef culture. It's like you need to get the respect of your peers. Like I didn't consider myself a chef until my peers started calling me a chef. Okay. No matter how long, like even like 6-7 years into my career, I would say people say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" It's like, "Oh, I cook." I never said I was a chef until like my peers and chefs I looked up to started calling me chef. And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I am. Okay, cool."
I could understand that. My only dispute is in any artistic expression, that has always been a struggle where you've had the mainstream or the people that have gone through art school or whatever. Yeah. And then you have some young buck who comes up and he's creating some weird, goofy art. I was just reading about an artist like that recently. Not well accepted. Art was totally off the wall and goofy and ridiculous. And it took a long time for the art community to accept this person as like, mainstream and part of the establishment.
And I can see that. It's funny because like, I think a lot of people because like you see it a lot. I would argue that the food Instagram page is way more prevalent than like any other like job Instagram page. Like I don't think there's like as many mechanics Instagram pages as there are like food Instagram pages. Like so many people make separate Instagrams for their food that aren't chefs, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. But it's when those people start thinking that they are food critics, that they are...
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
That they can hang with, like, actual chefs and, like, that kind of stuff gets to really bother me. Because I have had people like that reach out to me like, hey, if you ever want to try this recipe, let me know. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
I've been doing this longer than you. Like, I don't need your opinion. Now, with, like, other chefs, like, for example, on the way here, I was just talking with a buddy of mine, Chad, and, like... Him and I have been cooking together for years.
Yeah, you already have
we bounce ideas off of each other. And like that's cool. And it's like we teach each other things. We learn things from each other. But like, when it's just like the stay-at-home mom that's like baking sourdough bread and it's like, dude, cool. I'm so glad you love cooking and like you love doing that. But like stop thinking that you were this type of person when you know what I mean?
It's like I'm an amateur musician. I would never go around saying, "Oh, I'm a professional drummer," just because I've taken drum lessons and I can play some beats. You know what I mean? Like I would not say that because I'm not. Because I know friends who are professional drummers and they certainly put the work in and play all the time. And
it's like if I call myself a singer, but like all I ever did was just go to different karaoke nights. You know what I mean? I love to sing and I love to do it. But I would never say this is my career or like this is what I consider myself.
Because I think chef applies specifically to like a career path. You could say I'm a singer. I do sing, but I'm not a professional career singer. There's a little bit different. So I agree with you.
Like it's like if I changed my oil and I call myself a mechanic.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
It's like little things like that. I think a lot of chefs get frustrated by a lot of like we get frustrated by foodie culture.
Yeah, like so if you're say you are good at cooking, but you've only done it in your home, you're popular on TikTok. If that were me, I wouldn't be calling myself a chef. I'd be like, I'm like a TikTok cook or like personality or
I do like
something like that.
I do cooking videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, what if you might need a short title though to help people. Well, like I say I'm a cook or I'm a baker, not really.
I have a food TikTok.
Yeah. You could say that.
I don't know. I hear that. It is funny because like that gets me kind of riled up.
But what about people like even some of the people we talked to on Chopped, like they didn't necessarily go to school for it. They put in their they
went in the kitchen.
They went in the kitchen.
Now, like if that's something you want to do, like I've had people that were like 40 years old, reach out and say, "Hey, I think I'm interested, in cooking," and I say,
just because they cook at home.
But before you consider spending money to go into culinary school, let me tell you what life as a chef is really like.
Yeah,
you are working an obnoxious amount of hours.
Yeah,
you have a family right now. Well, you're never gonna see them.
Yeah,
like you're gonna work every holiday. You're gonna do this, like. And you're probably going to lose your love for cooking.
Yeah.
That's just a cold, hard truth. It's very rare that people in this industry are like passionate about it. And like, I'm very blessed that like a lot of the chefs I know are very passionate about it. And like, that is few and far between.
I do think you could have someone who is like, privately very, very skilled at what they do, like at the professional level, but they just haven't done it at a professional level. So people who are in the profession might look at some, home guitar player who's phenomenal, like a prodigy, and be like, well, he didn't put in, he's that hasn't been on the road. He doesn't have an album, but that guy in his room might be able to outplay some of the best performers on the road. So I understand a little bit of that jealousy or kind of competition.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely jealousy.
Yeah, and I can understand that.
Could you guys say that if you, you're not allowed to be jaded or use your hater cred, to hate to say that word, but just until you have, I don't know, struggled through
paid your dues.
Yeah, paid your dues.
Yeah.
Like you can be awesome, but if you're just upbeat and positive about it and just a happy person about it, then people are going to congratulate you and be like, yeah, man, keep going. I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with, doesn't it have a lot to do with your attitude?
Yeah, and your humility. Like if you're an amateur, but you're humble about it, like, hey, I'm not claiming to be a professional chef. I just like to cook.
I do think like in the last couple of years, food service has been kind of glamorized. And I wanted to have
shows and all that stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to have my friend Lauren on the show because like we were talking about this the other day, and we were like just talking about like how shows like the big one right now is The Bear that just came out on
what's that
on FX. It's like a restaurant show, and it's really popular.
That is actually pretty cool. Yeah,
and it's a good show. A lot of chefs I know aren't too big of fans of it because they feel like something's a little. Some said they were triggered by it, but I think it's just when people like that show, and like I think when they act like they've been through it.
Yeah.
When people who have never worked in restaurants are like, it's so accurate. You're like, how do you know?
But why would they not like the show? They don't think it's accurate, or
I don't like
it's entertainment, obviously.
Yeah. And I do understand, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. It's like there is a certain little bit of entertainment, and we can save this conversation for another episode.
No, it's interesting because like a little bit, yeah.
Because the shows like that, I think, kind of give it this like a little bit of like it makes the job that I do look very glamorous. And like
that show does that show makes it look like it's hard work.
It's hard work. It is hard work.
Glamorous is not the word I would use.
It makes people like me like I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it.
Well, anyone I think who works in a particular industry, if they made a TV show, a popular entertainment TV show drama about welding, welders are going to look at it and probably be like, well, that's not quite right. Like that's not quite accurate. Or you're making welders look like a lot cooler than they really are. Like where it's a tough job. It's a hard job, and that kind of thing. You have to look at any form of entertainment. It's entertainment first and foremost.
I get it. Like I said, I think as a chef, I think as a TV show, it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
As a food show, I think it was kind of subpar.
Yeah, but that's fair because there's always that translation. You've got to translate an industry or a topic into something that people will actually want to watch. Like, and there's always going to be something that's lost in the middle.
It's like food and restaurant movies.
Yeah,
like. Chef, the movie Chef is awesome. The movie Chef by
Oh.
Jon Favreau is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. I would argue that every chef that's watched that show loves it. That movie, loves it. Because Jon Favreau did the research, and now like Jon Favreau is like really into food. He goes into restaurants. He has the chef show on Netflix, which is awesome. And like, but then there's shows like then there's the movie Burnt
Yeah.
that came out with Bradley Cooper. And I remember like watching.
Oh, that's
that
the one
show.
I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That's the one I watched, and I was like, all right, like, what is going on here? This isn't nearly right. This isn't nearly accurate. Like,
yeah.
like the big thing that shows like, oh, I'm looking for my 3rd star, and it's like chefs don't say that. Even chefs who have Michelin stars don't say stuff.
But it's the thing is, you're very passionate about what you do. So I think when you see your art being portrayed in a particular way you think is not accurate, you're kind of like your back goes up. You're like, oh, that's not quite right. Instead of just being like, it's just entertainment, and I just have to accept that.
If anybody listening wants to watch something that accurately captures working in a restaurant kitchen, watch the movie Boiling Point. It's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It is, so first of all, they did it as a single shot? I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
like the one take.
Continuous shot, I think
the
it's
continuous take.
where they don't cut the scene. It's
right.
just, yeah.
It's just, yeah. So
it's
they
one
did the
choreographed
continuous
scene.
take.
Yeah.
And that movie, legitimately, I felt stressed out watching that movie because I felt like I was back in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And that movie is probably the closest thing I have seen that captures working in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Boiling Point. Amazon Prime.
And it's interesting.
Watch
It's
Boiling
very
Point.
engaging watching that because what goes on in the kitchen is like there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of intensity, there's a lot of energy. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like that movie I was watching, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is the most accurate representation I've ever seen of that.
Yeah. That's funny. I like it.
Yeah. Sorry about that little diatribe.
It's good.
We really diverted a lot from TikTok videos.
I try not to debate it too much too, but it's interesting. I like to debate with you.
Well, yeah, I don't mind
there's
it.
nothing to. No, there's nothing. But it's like even my friends are computer programmers. A lot of that's come up in media, recently, like what computer programmers or hackers are like. And a lot of them just laugh because they're just like, oh, it's just whatever. It's not interesting. We're just pretty boring, whatever, And Greg could probably attest to that too. But it's
Oh yeah.
they always make hackers out. They seem like either like total incels, like losers, or like they're super cool with like 20 screens and they're like kind of handsome and they I don't know. They're like really cool. Because it is kind of cool. It is a
it's
very
always
powerful
like
position.
Yeah, it's like always like, oh, I just need 30 seconds to hack it to the mainframe. It's like,
It takes way too little time to do something way too complicated.
and it always has like a weird loading bar on the screen. And it's like, I don't think that ever shows up. It's like, we're at 80%.
It's always the Matrix colors on the screen. Yeah, that's exactly right. Greg, I don't know. Is that how you do it? Greg is funny because I'll watch Greg's programming computer sometimes, and he's got it in 4K resolution, which is like everything's really small, and he's literally this far away from the computer. I'm like, Greg, I don't know how you do coding like that. It's really funny to me. Your eyes are just falling out of your head. All right, we're probably at time. Are we at time?
I think so. I think we're pretty close to wrapping, right, Greg?
Oh, it's
Where are
late.
we
It's
at, Greg?
11:30 our
It's
time.
getting late.
11:30 local
Yeah,
time, brother.
I'm tired.
You're so tired.
Get some sleep.
Get some
But
sleep. Yes, sir.
mental health check.
Yeah.
Greg, why don't you go first?
Yeah, Greg, go first. Put that Johns on yourself.
Let's see how this works. I'm doing all right this week. I had a good time today. Went to Knoebels amusement park up in Ellisburg, PA, and rode some roller coasters. That was fun.
We got to go there sometime. That's awesome.
Nice. So
Good to
where are
hear,
you
man.
at? 1 to 10.
Oh, I am at, let's say, an 8.5.
Ooh.
8.5.
It's good.
He high.
Same. Yeah. 7, 8. No complaints.
Yeah, I'm at a 9.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, seeing what this week started off,
Yep.
if this was, I don't know, what was that, Wednesday we were supposed to record?
Yep.
Wednesday.
Oh,
I
that's
was
good.
probably at like a 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
It was a rough day.
Yeah.
It
Needed
was
your time to yourself. Needed to recharge.
Yeah, it was one of those days that like I was like, I can't wait to get home and drink a beer.
Just do nothing. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And like just sit on my couch, have a nice ice cold beer, and just sit on my couch and just watch something mindless.
Having a successful event yesterday, I think, definitely boosted morale.
And then
Yep.
like Thursday night when you guys came over. That was a blast.
We had a friend night, guy night, kind of.
And then Friday, I did a lot of prep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we randomly started hanging out that night late at night at Toscana. That was a lot of fun.
I got a Toscana. Yeah, it's fun to go out.
Yeah, I got to hang out with my friend and the lady that he's seeing.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. And then yesterday was a lot of fun. Like, I'm blessed, man.
Good.
It's like days like that make you realize like how lucky you actually are.
Yeah.
And like that's how I feel. I had like you guys were all there, and it's like the outpouring of support and affection. I'm probably gonna get a little emotional right now, but it was just like it was so cool, man. It was just overwhelming amount of emotion.
We have a lot of things to be thankful for sure.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we lose sight of that.
We do.
I think as human beings, I think it's just natural to focus on the negative and negative and negative all the time. And
when you have something, you always want the next thing or whatever's more than that. And I think sometimes it's good to just learn to be content with what we have.
Yeah, sometimes it's good just to
live in the
list
moment,
off things that you are thankful for in your everyday life.
100%.
You have clothes, you have shoes, you have running water, you have access to all these things that a lot of people don't have access to. And so for me, yesterday was one of those days that just 9.5. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a good word of advice. Try to find one thing that we're all grateful for, and try
every
to focus
day.
and really meditate on that. So, well, everyone, thanks for listening. Subscribe on YouTube if you can. Subscribe and like. That really helps with the algorithm.
Yeah, we're trying to get to 100 subs at least, so we can get a customized URL.
Yeah. And we'll probably finish up with a couple more episodes, and then we'll take a break and start season 4 later, hopefully.
Yeah, season 4.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking us out this week. Tune in next week and be entertained.